Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Katie Weaver Show. This is Katie. I'm your host. I'm so happy to be here. It is the 28th of February already, last day of the month. Man, February has, well, what can you say about February? uh, February has been a utter nightmare for me, but I hope it's been better for you guys. I know a few of you that have had some serious struggles this month, too. So I'm kind of a by February kind of guy. But I'm looking forward for a much better March. But, fingers crossed and toes too. It's about 11 a.m. Pacific time. I want to let you know that we are over in the chat room. You can find that by heading over to 12radio.com. Click on the chat button and you'll be redirected into the Facebook chat. You just look for my banner at the top of the page and you'll see other people chatting there. And I'm keeping an eye on that. That's a great place to ask for a reading or make a comment. But I am also live streaming this event. If you'd rather watch it, you can do that by heading over to YouTube or Facebook. Look for Katie Weaver, Domestic Mystic, and you should find my live stream there. So, one way or another, welcome. And if you're listening to an archive or a replay or watching a replay, of course, I want to welcome you too. And I do have my eye on all of the chat rooms. So wherever you're chatting, making comments, I should be able to see it. So want to say hi to Jane, Sid, Lillian, Jessica, JR, oh, Renee, Rebecca, and everybody else filing in. Good to see everybody. Tiffany, I hope you guys are well. And I hope that your weather's doing something good for you. Really weird. Hey, Lynn, some very weird weather across the country, right? We're just we still have a ton of snow. And in fact, Christy and I drove yesterday to a neighboring town to sit through a court proceeding for our true crime podcast, a Dave Balballo court proceeding. And we drove in an absolute whiteout. The weather was terrible. And then by the time we were out of court, the sun was shining. And then later it was snowing again. And right now, it is really, really windy here, like 30-mile-an-hour winds or more. So, because of that, I hope my internet's going to be okay. If it isn't, that's probably why. So, I just want to warn you that because our weather is acting really wild, I don't know. I'm not trusting my internet completely today for that reason. But hello, Maya and Geraldine. Good to see you guys, and Laurie. Anyway, so if my internet sucks, that's probably why, and I apologize. But yeah, very, very windy. I toyed with not doing a show today because of it, and then I was, I just hate to not do a show. And on that note, I do want to let you know that I won't be here next week. I have softball responsibilities, so I won't be live. I will be at One Two Listen all week, but I won't be live on the show next week. So just FYI, that's going on. But I will be back the next week, so no worries at all. That's what's up. So, can you believe? Maybe you can. My little puppies. Remember my little Chihuahua boys that I got last year after my Skippy died, and I got these little guys to heal my little heart? They are turning 1 this week. Can you believe this? Time flies. But these darling little guys are turning 1 years old, and I cannot even believe it. So I did tell Scott to bring them in to me during the show so I could let them have a little cameo, but we'll see if that happens. That means he has to catch them. So we'll see. Yeah, they are wild and naughty and cute and sweet and fun, kind of all in a package. They're definitely still puppies. My God. Our big Luca, he has never met a toy he doesn't need to kill. He has to tear it open and get the squeaker out of it and destroy it. That is his full mission. And then his brother is complicit in the murders because then he tears out all of the stuffing. So I'm just kind of ready to just let him get it over with at this point. Just do the thing so that I can be done with it. Oh my gosh. Okay, a whole armload of dogs just showed up in here. All right, come here, Bruno. So here's our little Bruno. This is the little teeny blonde one. Oh, he's staring at his dad. Why am I here? Yep, here's our Bruno, and he still stayed really little. He's a tiny guy. Oh, we're scaring you, Bruno. So happy birthday, Bruno. Okay, do you want to go back to dad? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, but now brace yourselves. Come here, Luca. So this is Luca. And yes, they are litter mates. In case you're wondering, if you can even believe that. Yes, this is Luca. Oh, he's scared too. Oh, I'm sorry, bud. They they don't want to be movie stars. Do you want to just show them your cute little face one more time, and then you can go back to dad? Yeah. All right. You want to go back to dad? That's what I thought. Okay. Here you go. Oh, 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 oh. He almost tore my headset off. Okay. Well, there, there you go. That's the birthday visit. Can you even believe the size difference? Luca is easily 3 times heavier than Bruno. Isn't that wild? Here's the thing. Everybody looks at Luca and says, "My God, he's so big." He's really actually the same size as the parents. It's actually that Bruno is so little. Bruno's so much smaller. And I didn't have a chance to show you because he wasn't really appreciating this. But Bruno, and you might already know this, I've showed you before, but Bruno has extra toes on both little back feet. Yeah. He's just a really special little guy. He also has bad allergies in the spring, my poor little Bruno. But oh, Sid said Luca looks a lot like Patchouli, except for that she has the stand up ears. That's so shocking, the size difference. Yeah, Luca probably does weigh around 16 pounds, and Bruno weighs about 5 pounds. They are much different in size. They both have Chihuahua temperaments, however, kind of at different sides of the spectrum, but they're Chihuahuas. Like, and I know I've had a lot of people go, they cannot possibly both be Chihuahuas. Well, again, I was trying to buy bigger Chihuahuas this time because I've always had really teeny ones that are really fragile that keep my anxiety, at peak all the time. So I was like, why don't we get dogs that are a little bit bigger and a little sturdier so I'm not so worried about them all the time. So that's what we did, except for that. So Luca he's mom and dad's size, but my little Bruno, I still had to have a nitty bitty apparently. Oh my goodness. Yeah, JR said we don't talk about Bruno, right? He doesn't want us to. Bruno has this funny shy stuff. He loves his crate. We have a wire crate that they don't really go in anymore except for to eat. Bruno only wants to eat in his crate with the door shut because he doesn't want anyone to bother him, and he takes his sweet ass time to eat. You put him in bed with his dinner and he'll eat for a while, and then he'll lay on his smooshmallow for a while, and then he'll eat for a while, and it can take him 30 minutes to eat his dinner. His brother, on the other hand, shovels in his dinner as fast as he possibly can, and then he's ready to play. Except for that his brother's laying in bed eating as slow as he can, just controlling everything. Anyway, so wild. And I'm sorry in the chat that I didn't have pictures of them to show. I tried to take pictures this morning and they were very uncooperative. But anyway, those are my boys. They've been really, really good for my heart. Yeah. Yep. Tiffany said, Luca is so big, so handsome. He is. That is funny about size relevance. My butter boy used to be my biggest rabbit, and Hickory was so small. Now that I've rescued Henry, and he is truly tiny, and now Hickory looks so big, it trips me out all the time. This is like having a toddler and then having a baby. And suddenly that toddler is enormous and they're heavy, and you can't believe you have such a big kid, whereas they were teeny a minute ago. And you hold the toddler and then you pick up the baby and you about toss him over your shoulder because you're expecting to pick up somebody so much heavier. Size is definitely relative, isn't it? It is his room, it's his cave, it is his place. Yep. He stashes toys in there. He loves his smooshmallow. He lays in there all the time on his smooshmallow, just with the door open. If you don't know where Bruno is, go check his crate. He's probably in there just chilling. Yep. So funny. Luca will go in there if you need him to. Like sometimes, depending on if we're going somewhere. I sometimes I put him in there depending on how I feel, and, uh, if you just tell him to go to bed and get out a treat, he'll trot right in there. But otherwise, he never goes in there. I don't think Bruno lets him. Also, Bruno controls Luca. Even though he's the teeny one, he can be quite mean to him. He is much higher on the, totem pole. If I'm cuddling with Bruno, Luca can't come cuddle with me unless Bruno allows him to, and sometimes he doesn't. He can be, we have to really watch him because he can be kinda naughty. What is a smooshmallow? Oh my gosh, Sid. Smooshmallows are these big stuffed animal pillow things that are really, really squishy and soft. I we have a bunch of them, and the reason I have them, I the first time I got one, my sister bought me one for a holiday because, she uses them on the couch to get comfortable, because we're all in these really uncomfortable bodies, and so from then I bought a couple more because I loved them and my dogs adore them, and then Micah bought me one for Christmas that's 5 feet long to be able to prop up. I have a shoulder that really bothers me sometimes, in my chair and my bed, and so, anyway, he bought me one and they're awesome. Yeah. Yes, if you don't have a Smooshmallow, you should. Or a Squishmallow. I think they're called Squishmallows. We call them Smooshmallows. Anyway, very comfy, pillowy cuddle things, and dogs love them. Yeah, a heart of a lion and those little guys. Oh, yeah. Luca cracks me up because sometimes he just needs to bark. He'll be sitting, he likes to look out the window. So he'll be sitting on top of Scott's recliner, peeking out the window, and he'll kind of start this closed mouth, stuff that obviously he has a need to bark. And not that they're not allowed to bark in the house. I'm not all that strict with my dogs, but he'll usually get down and run out back, go through the doggy door, and run out back and bark for a minute or two. And then he comes back in the house and it's out of his system. It cracks me up. He just has a need to bark. So that's what he does. Anyway, it cracks me up. Okay. Well, oh, Cindy said her daughter's Chewini is 6 pounds, grandma's pride and joy. Her name is Lilu. Oh, Chewinis are such fun dogs. Sassy, funny, sweet. Yeah. Oh, Sid said they probably sound lovely for lounging. Oh, they do sound lovely for lounging. I probably didn't know about them because I'm dialed into pet stuff. Yeah, right? We always buy, Costco always has them, and everywhere else, like in the toy section and stuff. But anyway, well, hey, Pamela, good to see you. All right, well, let's move on and talk about a few things. We are going to do some sound therapy today. I figured everybody could probably use it. I'm going to put the link to Luminous in the chat room so you guys may have already. Oh, they are so smart, Cindy, huh? Christy has a Chiweenie that is the most determined dog I have ever met. She's the most food motivated, determined dog I've ever met. Yeah. Okay, putting a link to Luminous in the chat room here. And then I'm going to share my screen. How many years have I been doing this and I still can't remember how to share the screen? It's really dumb. Okay, here we go. I found a magical cover this week. I loved it. I really have spring fever. I am so ready for the snow to melt and for the wildflowers to come up and just all of it. Yeah. I'm tired of being I'm tired of the winter solstice energy, honestly. I'm tired of being in that like holding pattern. You know what I mean? The winter solstice that just kind of puts you to bed. And I'm ready for this spring equinox energy to really wash over me. It's time. And I'm tired of being down. So, and for a lot of February, I was down because I've been battling some infections and some stupid stuff. And you don't need all the details because it sucks and it's boring. But I've had to rest a lot more than normal. And I'm so tired of it. So I'm done. I'm better too, by the way. I'm better. And I'm done being on the couch. I'm just so tired of being down. So Anyway, I'm ready for spring. Carol too, huh? I'm with you, Carol. Done. Done, done, done. So our weather's not, so that sucks, but but here we are. Okay. I called the magazine this week the Let's Go edition because there is really good collective energy this week for getting a lot done. There's a lot of motivation. I cannot tell you guys how many people have called me on the lines here in the next or the last week or two asking for some energy work for motivation. Can you just help me motivate me or a family member, a lot of that too, but can you just help us get motivated to like do shit? Everybody needs some motivation. We're all sick of ourselves right now, I think, and sick of our situations. Yeah. So, but this week has got really good energy as far as motivation. So take advantage of it and get some stuff done. However, this is kind of a step backwards. However, uh, did you guys watch Carnival Row when it first came out on Amazon? I mean, we're talking like at least 2 years ago. I loved the first season of Carnival Row, and I've been waiting forever for the second season, and they've finally released it. But it's one episode at a time, which is kind of nice because then you don't just binge the entire thing and be done and feel that it's over. Especially because it is over after this. The second season is it. But oh my god, it is so intense. And it's an interesting, comparison to our current times too, in some ways, uh, as far as society and government are concerned. But it also is, but it's very different too. But anyway, if you're watching Carnival Row, tell me. We have to talk about it. Or if you're not, what are you doing with your life? It's intense though. If you can't do intense stuff, don't do it. You don't. But if you like suspenseful, intense, magical, this is your jam. It's on Prime. All right. I had seen a few different articles that I thought were and videos this week that really made me laugh or got me interested. So I decided to share those in my musings because it is easy to get jaded, I think, especially, I think it is for me right now, especially because two of the bigger cases that I've been following for the last couple of years are finally either at trial. The Alec Murdoch case is at trial right now, and then the Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell case is going to trial as it stands in a month, that's probably going to change because of some new evidence. But anyway, things are getting really real with both of those cases. So for me, in true crime, like, mm-mm. And when you watch and you listen to and you study and like suddenly like these really terrible crimes become not comfortable, but easier to hear about, easier to see. I feel like I need to take a step back into the world of feel good, right? So, always looking. I love the Good News Network and some of the other sites online that are specifically for good news, but I also just like feel good stuff. So, here are a couple of things. This one really I loved. So, this janitor, 80 years old, he had retired and ended up coming back to work. And some of the kids wanted to know why. Well, it's because his rent had gone up so much he couldn't afford to live and came back to work so that he could be able to pay his rent. And these students, because they're rock stars and badass kids, because Gen Z typically is, decided that that was not going to work for them. That this guy has done enough, and he had done enough for their school that they deserved to, or that they owed him. So they just put together a fundraiser and made enough awareness online that as of now, they've put together $270,000 for him so that he can retire. I'm sure they'll miss him. He'll probably come back and visit frequently, but these kids did that. These children did that. How? By using their skills, by using social media, by using their voices, right? They stepped up and this is what they created. It's amazing. But it's not that surprising if you're paying attention to Gen Z. And I know a lot of there's been a lot of talk about this generation and millennials that, that they're lazy or that they're demanding or that they're whatever. And I just couldn't disagree more. Of course, there's some lazy people in their generation. There is in every generation. However, these kids are brilliant. They're driven. Their minds for fairness and social justice are incomparable to what we have seen and who we have been. These kids are going to change everything. They just need a little bit more time. Whenever I start feeling very down about the current state of our society, our economy, our government, I remember that the old guard only has about 10 more years on the planet. And what we have emerging underneath them are some really brilliant leaders. And when you look at Gen Z and what these kids have managed to accomplish in so many different realms, I'm not that worried. The kids are all right. They know what's going on. They are more involved in government than most generations have ever been, uh, except for perhaps the younger people like back in the 60s. They are prepared to change the world and they see injustice and they don't like it. We're going to be okay. Okay. I also shared this on my Facebook earlier this week too, but this video is so freaking funny about the kangaroos. It's a pub in Australia that has a whole what do you call a group of kangaroos? I don't even know. I was going to call them a flock, which is definitely wrong. I definitely don't want to call them a congress because that seems mean. Uh, I don't know what you call them, but this big group of kangaroos that meets up outside of their pub every day, and they do feed them. And some of them come in right in the pub. And the video is adorable. She has them all named. She's talking to them in the funniest way. Anyway, you have to watch it. It will make your day. And then this happened this week. Now, you know how much I love college softball and I love birds. And there was a group of free flying parrot bird people that had met up somewhere else and were flying their birds, which is amazing to me. This I believe was in Florida. That would never ever happen here. They would not be safe. Is it a gang, JR? Is it? Or did you just say that? Either way, I'll take it. Anyway, there's this college softball game going on, and these two blue and gold macaws swoop in and start flying around the field. And one of them lands right on the umpire's shoulder and just sits there like, all right, let's go. It stopped the whole game because obviously, how could you have a ball in play with these birds? My God, something terrible could happen. A mob, Carol says. We'll take it. Um, anyway, it was so funny. So apparently, these two had strayed a little bit too far from the group, and they did get reunited with their handlers, and all is well. But to just see those birds flying around the field was so cool. So, anyway, those are some of the greater things I saw this week that I included. All right. For bitch scopes, Kelly says, buckle your seatbelts. But first, poetry. I love it. Uh, she does such a great job with Bitch Scopes. I hope that you guys do read them and that you listen to her podcast. There's a link here to listen to her Bitch Scopes podcast. It's Bitch Scopes as well as her Bitch Story show that she does with Lisa. And it's awesome. So I hope you guys do watch it. Mm. Let's just read Aries. It's almost their birthday. Aries. And here's the poem. My bees get their first supplies from the catkins of the willows. How quickly they find them out. If but one catkin opens anywhere within range, a bee is on hand that very hour to rifle it. And it is a most pleasing experience to stand near the hive some mild April day and see them come pouring in with their little baskets packed with the first fruitage of spring. That's by John Burroughs from The Pastoral Bees from Locusts and Wild Honey. For Aries, she said, interestingly enough, a significant amount of activity is happening in your 11th house, which is very much where I would place bees if bees were in astrology. Maybe they are. I've never asked one. Maybe you should ask. I love it. Be sure to read your little snippet and your astrology or your scope as well. So great job, Kelly. I love them. All right, my tip this week, crystals for out of body work. I get this question a lot. What crystals are good for out of body work? And also, what is out of body work? So, we're talking about astral travel, we're talking about past life experiences. Sometimes we're just talking about meditation. So, some stones that would be useful to hold or have near you: blue kyanite, labradorite, lapis lazuli, ametrine, apophyllite, or Herkimer diamond. I have a couple of those in front of me. I'll show you. Well, at least I'll show you apophyllite. How's that? So, this is apophyllite. But those are all stones that are amazing for that work. They're also stones that really shouldn't be stored in your bedroom for the same reason, especially blue kyanite. But if you want to meditate while doing work like that, holding them, putting them on your third eye, just having them near you, any of those things would be fine. But those are all stones that support out of body work. All right. Christie's energy boost connection is the root crown, or energy boost exercise is the root crown connection. Really important one for meditation because, or for keeping your energy balanced. This is a good daily exercise because there's such a deep connection between the root and the crown. One cannot be in balance if the other one is out of balance. So, working on their connection together is really important. Okay, heart happenings from Ginger. Let's read Cancer. Okay. Twist my arm. That's enough. She said, "Hi, Cancer. The angels and guides give you a flower. They say even though you may not yet see your dreams coming true, keep planting the seeds of positive intention to see them soon manifest." I love that. Hers were all symbols this week. They're fun. So thank you for that, Ginger. All right. Well, there's always more crime over at True Crime Squad. Part of this episode that we published last night was that the Wienermobile is under attack. Did you hear what happened to the Wienermobile? Do you know what the Wienermobile is? I didn't realize in publishing that, I guess I just never think about things like this, but that we have a lot of international listeners and they don't have Wienermobiles in their countries. Oh, honestly, Oscar Mayer, what are you even doing with your life? Seems to me like it's time to make that happen. But this happened, and you all know what the Wienermobile is, right? The Oscar Mayer Wiener. You probably had it in your town, so we've had it here a few times. Anyway, the Wienermobile was attacked in Las Vegas. Of course, it was Las Vegas. Get it together, Las Vegas. Yeah, the Wienermobile was robbed. Of what? Its catalytic converter. Yeah, not even the Wienermobile is safe from these damn catalytic converter thieves. Anyway, of course, it was on a tour and had a place to be, and they got up in the morning and it had been robbed of its catalytic converter. If you don't know what that is part of the exhaust underneath, in the undercarriage, and thieves have gotten very crafty in ways that they can slide under there and cut them off really quickly and be gone. And they sell on the used car market or the black market for around $150 a piece. And so thieves can, especially on taller vehicles that they can just slide under quickly, they can steal a lot of them in a night and make a killing on them. The problem is Most newer cars won't run if the catalytic converter's been cut. And it's can be thousands of dollars to have them replaced, at least, many hundreds. It's not cheap. It sucks. And this actually happened to Christy and Rhonda last year. They had their Vamper in storage, and when they went to get it out so we could go camping for the first time of the year, they couldn't start it because somebody had stolen the catalytic converter. Now, luckily, Scott was able to fix it. You can fix it. There's a quick fix on some cars. Some cars won't allow it, so that you can get going again, but it's not good for emissions. It's a whole thing. But anyway, it happened to the Meyer Wienermobile. What the hell? That just seems super anti-American to me. But whatever. They got it fixed and got it back on the road. Wieners. What a bunch of dicks, right? Yeah. I could make a lot of jokes about this. I probably won't. Okay. To completely settle the argument, and Carol, you were correct. Tiffany looked it up. A group of kangaroos can be known as a court. Kangaroo court. Did you know that? Okay. All right. Or a herd, or a mob, or a troop. A troop of kangaroos. I love that. All right. So now we all know that's what you call them. I love it. Okay. But I'll never get over the fact that a grouping of baboons is called a congress. I mean, yeah. Yes, it is. That's so funny to me. All right. Should we do some singing bowl work? I think everybody needs it. We just need, you know how it is. Yeah, that's where that term kangaroo court comes from, apparently. I thought there was an actual, for some reason, actually, Jane, I thought the term kangaroo court was kind of an overtly racist term. And now I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Who is the naming convention for these animals anyway? Good question, Pamela. Who gets to pick? Who got to pick a murder of crows? Because I want to meet them. Yeah, because they've got to be weird as hell, right? We would love this person. I want to know who that is. All right. Let's do some work. This is my heart chakra bowl. It had some tape in it. I don't know who did this, but they're going to be in trouble, and it's probably me. So Poe. Probably was Poe. Yeah. Poe did a lot for the Raven. It's true. We got to thank him for that. All right. So here's what I'm thinking. I think everyone could use a general clearing, and everyone could use some heart lightening. So we're going to do both, and we're going to use the same bowl to do it because we can. So I'm going to play the bowl first and ask you to just hold space, that the frequency of the singing bowl just help to clear out any energy that you're carrying in your spirit, in your body, in your emotional body that isn't serving your highest and best purpose. So all you have to do is just sit with it, and I'll play the bowl, and we're just going to allow that frequency to just clear out anything that you don't need anymore. Good. Okay. Excuse me, guys. Well, so that's a start. So now we can't hear it well. That's weird. It's literally like right in front of my microphone. All right, I'll try and hold it a little bit closer. Here. Maybe my mic is up to shenanigans. Uh, this time, I would like you to, as I sing the bowl, I want you to really focus on your heart chakra. That's that chakra right in the middle of your chest. It's typically pink and green. I just want you to allow the energy of that heart to grow bigger and brighter until it has just completely enveloped you in self love. All right, so here we go. Okay. Well, how weird. I have no idea why you can't hear. That is, bulls have always been so loud and effective on this show. I don't have any idea why. That is so weird. So, sorry. That kind of sucks. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and look through the chat if you guys have any questions for me. We do have, it looks like about 11 minutes that we can do some readings today. Oh, Shireen is at the hospital for her friend's chemo appointment. Oh, Shireen, you're such a good friend. Nobody should have to go to chemo alone. Or at least have somebody on hand, for stuff that you need. And for you, where you're a nurse, you understand her needs better than most. What a good friend you are. Okay. Cindy said, I'm always afraid to comment on your crime show unless some cray cray is listening. Oh, Cindy, let me tell you, we had, oh, that is, now that's very weird. Some of you could hear it just fine and some of you couldn't. Okay. And I know Mercury's not doing anything, or at least I don't think so. We can't blame it on that. I have no idea. Tech is so weird. Okay. So we covered this serial killer quite a while ago. His name is Bass Webb. Really bad guy, really super bad guy. And he's in prison forever. Like, I won't tell you everything he did because you don't need that, but he's bad. And we ran an episode about him, and it was called Bass Webb is a Monster. And Bass Webb is a monster. He is definitively a monster. By his own admission, he's a monster. One of the more famous videos of him that kind of floated around the internet that actually introduced me to him was him spitting on the judge. Yeah, spitting in the face of a female judge in a proceeding. And that's how he feels about women, for sure. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Bass Webb's a monster. He is. So we started getting these vile emails from this woman who claimed to be Bass Webb's fiance. Well, Bass Webb has been in prison since 2016, I believe. So we're like, oh no. Is she one of those women that fall in love with serial killers and marry them? She is. So she sent us a bunch of unhinged emails and we just ignored her. And then she started commenting on in our live streams and stuff and getting like vile and threatening. So then we had to block her, which is something I actually didn't want to do. I didn't, but I don't like blocking anybody. I think that's a really extreme step. I'll do it if I have to, but I don't like doing it. Uh, unless it's, a troll, obviously not a real person or whatever. But anyhow, so then she found us on TikTok and started getting super abusive with us on TikTok. So then I went and watched her TikToks and holy Christ, this woman is terrifying. She wants to be a serial killer. That's her goal. Like she says so. And then she changed her username to Mrs. Bassweb. So we were like, did they actually get married? And then she hasn't posted in a long time. And now I'm wondering if she is actually in jail. But I've been kind of cool with her being on the other side of the country for sure. So I do hear you, Cindy. I really do. Uh, there are cray crays out there. Also, I will never, ever, as long as I live, understand these women that fall in love with, or fall in love, let's use that term super loosely, with serial killers and start sending them letters. There's the guy in Idaho right now, the Moscow 4 killings. You might be familiar with them. Uh, he already is getting all kinds of fan mail from women that are sending him letters. There's a woman in Georgia that says that he's her soulmate, and she sends him daily letters and pictures of herself. And oh my God, it's so unhinged. What is wrong with these women? What has gone wrong in their lives that this is what they're? I can't even. I don't know. Why is she still allowed on social media? Good question, Lillian. All it ever takes is making a new account, you know? Yeah, she shouldn't be. She's truly terrifying. But just like 2 days ago, we had some other person leave a comment on that video. Free Bass Web. What? What? Uh, no, definitely no. That'll never happen. He's never going to see the light of day ever. But what? Anyway, that is all. So yeah, they exist, Cindy. You're not wrong. Okay. She said, "Grace, see what I mean?" Yes. Okay. Maya said, "Can you do a quick reading regarding my trade show next week? Am I really going to be going?" Let's take a look. Actually, I think you are. Maya, it'll be an interesting experience. I feel like, I mean, some relationships to be forged, but quite a bit of tenseness amongst your team. I think but tense. It feels tense on one hand, and then on the other, I feel like you get to kind of show up as the professional and the sweetheart that you are in your field, and that creates some weirdness and some jealousy. I don't know. It's an interesting vibe. Be careful with it. Yeah. Okay, Cindy. Any message from my Jill? She passed last May. Let's tune into Jill. Cindy, she called you the Energizer Bunny. She put her arms around you and loved on you. And then she said she's just the Energizer Bunny. She just keeps going and going, always offering her heart and her help to other people. She said that you have a bigger heart than anybody she's ever known. She wants you to know how much she loves you and that she's walking with you always. Oh, really sweet, Cindy. Keep talking to her. She knows. Okay. JR, can I get a reading for the new gym I'm going to join? Yeah, let's take a look. The message, JR, for you was to keep your eyes on your own paper, meaning don't worry about what anybody else is doing. Don't allow yourself to psych yourself out. I feel like you're going to meet some really supportive women here. But also, you'll occasionally kind of get your head turned by other people that are at a different place in their journey than you are that will that could psych you out. So it's your job, right? It's your head game. It's your job to decide that you're just not going to allow that, and you're not going to put any energy into it. So, yes, it's a good place. Yes, I feel like you'll find some good supportive people there. But yes, there's also a chance here that you will let yourself get kind of wigged out by the experience that you're having. So that's on you. Yeah, you just really have to determine yourself that your eyes are on your own paper. You only care about what you're doing in your journey. Lillian, please look at my sinuses. I'm still congested and a little dizzy. Had a sinus scan last Friday and waiting for results. Okay. And I saw earlier you said that you guys are having red tide and a bunch of seasonal stuff too. Yeah, I don't think you're done yet figuring this out. I don't think you're going to go back to like the super dizzy stuff that you did have, but I do feel like you're not quite done with your medical team figuring out what's going on here. I'm glad you got the sinus scan. I feel like that's a step at least, and that you're going to get some answers here that will help you. But I think you're still working on it. But the scan is a step that'll help. I think that's going to answer some questions so they know where to go next in figuring this out. But the good news is, Liliana, I do feel like they will figure it out. In the meantime, though, let me do the work that I can do to see if I can just help balance all of this out and get the dizziness on the right path. And I've probably already said this to you, but just for the hell of it, ask them about your parathyroids and your calcium. If your body's creating too much calcium, your parathyroids are over functioning, they're hyper, it causes dizziness and it causes headaches. It causes some things that people may mistake as sinuses when it's not. And it happens to women sometimes, and it doesn't get caught like it should. So if you haven't, just ask for a little lab to make sure your calcium looks correct. Just ask them about it. Really, really easy to look at your calcium and make sure it's where it should be. Okay. All right. So I did do a little bit of grounding for you and just grounded that energy out of your crown. You did have a lot of like built up stuff up here. See if we can help get you at least a little bit more grounded. Okay. Okay. A couple of you are watching Carnival Row. It looks like Quelly and Lynn. I know. It's hard. It's really hard to watch sometimes, and I can't look away too. I'm really glad they put it out one episode at a time this time, because I think if I binged the entire thing of season 2, I don't know if I could peel myself up off the floor. So definitely need to take that in small doses, but I love it. I really love it. Okay. Oh, Cindy said, yeah, she called her the Energizer Bunny. Awesome. Yeah, what a sweetheart. No, she's a doll, Cindy. She loves you so much. Jane, yes. Let me see if I can get Steve. He hasn't been gone for very long, but let's see what we can do. And also, I am so sorry. I bitched about how bad February was for me, but it was nothing compared to what you went through, sweetheart. I know that. Oh, Maya said, yeah, it is tense. Yeah, I know. Maya, though, they don't know who they're dealing with. They just do not understand your influence, the friends that you have, the contacts you have in the field. You have been really taken for granted here. So go, go do your networking. I think you're going to surprise some people. All right, Jane, back to Steve. Here we go. Steve does not mince words. Huh. Jane, he said you're working really hard at making yourself feel guilty right now, or bad. And he said, no. He said, this is the best thing for me. Oh, and he said, and I'm so glad to be out of there. He said, I'll miss you. And he said, I'll take care of Ma. He said, but don't you feel bad. He said he was so sick of being sick, so sick of feeling like shit. Yeah. He says he loves you and he feels like he didn't support you as well as he should have as a brother throughout your lifetime, or just be there as much for you as he wished that he had realized he should have been. But he wants you to know that he loves you and he appreciates you a lot. And he said he'll be around. And yes, he said he'll hold your cat. Oh, gruff and tough talking, but also a heart of gold. Yeah. I love you, Jane. Honey, I'm so sorry you've been through all of this. You've sure not deserved it. All right. We got to get to Kathleen Peterson, or we're going to run out of time. So, this is our bibliomancy. So, we're asking, of course, this is Kathleen's book. These are her channeled messages from archangels and other light beings. And we are doing bibliomancy to channel both Kathleen and her light beings for a message each week to see what we need to know. So, I just ask the question and open the book, and wherever the pages open and stop, that's what we do. Horus. I don't think we've had Horus. I bring you love from all of us today. I come to tell you that I can help you see with clarity into any situation you face and also into the future. There are times when you doubt your own feelings about the truth of a situation or a person. I can help you see the truth with a loving perspective. I will also assist you with the courage to face the truth in the highest good of all. I will come when you call me to assist with courage, truth, and seeing the truth from love rather than from judgment. You are all courageous and truthful, but there are times when doubt and fear enter, and then things are not always clear. Know that you have the truth already within you and only need to be willing to access it with a clear and loving eye. I realize that this can be difficult for some of you because you have been raised in situations which belie the truth as you know it. Many of you sit in denial of the truth, which is in your heart about a specific situation. Some of you go through life in that denial. Know that when you are willing to see the truth in any situation, you can bring it forth. If there is fear of facing the truth, call on me and I will assist. Truth is an important part of releasing the veil that surrounds your life. Truth is an important place to come from when you deal with all aspects of your life. See yourself with truth and clarity. Do not negate the gifts of your that you possess. When I speak of truth, I speak of the loving perspective in all. Grant yourself the truth about your goodness and your worthiness to receive. Some of you fear the truth about yourself because you have painted a picture in your mind of imperfection, which you see as unlovable. Know that the truth about you is far more beautiful than you would ever expect. You are love, light, and beauty. Know that this is true. Call on me to help you see that aspect of you, as well as the less desirable aspects. I see most of you focusing on the less desirable aspects, judging yourself as unworthy. Now is the time to see the truth of you and the love, light, and beauty that you are. Change your focus and just for today celebrate you. They say the truth will set you free. Allow all the truth to be present in you now. I send blessings and let you know that I see the loving truth within you. Go in grace. And that, of course, is from Horace and Kathleen. So thank you for that. All righty, guys, we have done it. We've talked down to the end of the show. I want to let you know that I'm a professional psychic advisor over at one2listen.com, and I'm over there every day. You can come see me for a reading, a healing, a pep talk, some past life work, animal communication. I will help you any way that I can. Don't forget, I won't be live next week, but I'll be back right after, the week after. So no worries at all. I will be around, however, on the lines. So if you need me, I will be there. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for always supporting me, for being here. I love you. I appreciate you. Yes. And yeah, that's right, Sid. And thanks, you guys, for being here for my little birthday boys. You guys, take care of yourselves. Please go do something good for yourself today. You sure do deserve it. This has been yet another production of The Katie Weaver Show here on 1 2 Radio, where we're changing the way you listen to the world.